How are you all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Now, this is not a tactical analysis. This is going to be a statistical analysis, as you might have been able to read by the title, the key stats about Barcelona. Now, I originally, I need to mention this first, I originally made a prediction that we would beat Barcelona 4-1. And after I made that tweet, that, you know, you may follow me on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen, but after I made that tweet, I decided, you know, let me have a look at some stats and everything. They never are, but let me have a look at some stats, and then let me have a look at some key La Liga games. So I watched them in La Liga, not Champions League, La Liga, against some key opponents, those being Real Madrid, home and away, Atletico Madrid, home and away, Sevilla, home and away, as well as RCD Espanyol, I believe it was away. Just to see how Barcelona handle these opponents. Now, they actually drew against RCD Espanyol. The reason why I focused on that was because they specifically drew against them, and RCD Espanyol was the worst team in La Liga. So I kind of thought, you know what? They played against the worst team in La Liga and drew against them. I want to know why. I want to see why. Now, again, this is not going to be a tactical analysis. I'm not going to go into too much detail about how they play, how we can expose them, so on and so forth. This is more so to say, kind of like, this is what they do good. This is what they do bad. Just let's have a look at what they can use, I guess. Now, as I just mentioned already, they are a team that scores a lot of goals, but also concedes a terrible amount of goals. They have scored 86 goals in La Liga this season alone, which is the highest amount that any team has scored in La Liga. They came in second only to Real Madrid, who won La Liga this year. And on average, they have about 6.74 shots on target per goal, which is actually pretty. It's a good amount. It's not a terribly crazy amount. It's not a bad amount. It's actually a pretty decent amount. Like, it's a, honestly, for a team with the, you know, with the talent that Barcelona has, you probably expect them to have like maybe 9 shots, maybe 10 shots on target realistically. But you know, it just shows you that yes, they can score goals, and despite only having roughly about 7 shots on target, you know, it's not a bad stat. It's just that you would kind of expect them to a little bit more, considering how dominant they are on the ball, obviously creating more chances, more shots on goal, but that wasn't the case at all. Now, of those 86 goals that they scored in La Liga, Messi has scored 25 goals and assisted 21. Which is absolutely crazy. Out of 86 goals, he near enough, not exactly, but he near enough got almost 50 goals that he's contributed towards, which is crazy. The next person was Suarez with 16 goals and 8 assists. 16 goals and 8 assists. And you have Messi at 25 goals and 21 assists. Like, he's 20 plus for both goals and assists. You know how crazy, insane that is? It's brilliant. He's the only reason why I think he's the only reason why I think we might get knocked out. Like, otherwise, if he wasn't in the game, if he was injured, I'd be like, yeah, you know, we would go through. But like, because of Messi alone, this game could be lost. This game could be lost for us just because of Messi alone, which is insane. Having just a single player where I'm like, ooh, usually I'd be like 100% in, but like now I'm like, ooh, I gotta lower it to like 95%. It's like, bro, I can't put my faith in that. But I spoke about their goals. They score a lot of goals. 86 goals, highest in La Liga, brilliant. Messi, 25 goals, 21 assists, brilliant. But they also conceded 38 goals. And a big contributing factor to that is that on average, not on average, their highest or the most common score is a 2-2 result, which means that the most common result, which they've achieved 5 times, 5 times this season they've had a 2-2 draw, and those, obviously conceding 2 goals, but those were against Atletico Madrid, who ended up being 3rd in La Liga. That was Atletico Madrid at home. So Atletico Madrid scored 2 goals away. Then they played against Real Sociedad away, where they played a 2-2. Then they played against Osasuna, who ended up being 10th in La Liga, away. Then they played against Celta de Vigo, who ended up being 17th in the league, away. You notice a pattern here? Away, 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 away. The only exception obviously being Atletico Madrid. And then against RCD Espanyol, who was bottom of La Liga, away. Now, always are away. We obviously, this Champions League campaign, there is no home and away advantage, but if you want to consider it a neutral ground, which it will be, you know, with no spectators at all, then you could make the argument that it might be, you know, an away factor or not an away factor. So away from home, they generally concede a lot of goals. Now, is, you know, neutral ground going to be considered an, you know, an away ground for Barcelona? Obviously, it's a neutral ground in theory, but it all depends on how the tide kind of swings. You know, once you start feeling pressure, usually you can use your crowd to get you back into the game, but like there won't be no crowd. So which Barcelona are we going to see? The one that can, you know, kind of push forward? We did see, you know, for those guys that watched the Napoli game against Barcelona, I did manage to catch a actually I recorded it, so I did manage to watch the full game once the Bayern game was done. Second half, Napoli could have easily scored 3-4 goals. Like Napoli could have easily gone through if they were just more clinical, and if just because they weren't clinical, they were just not that good in front of goal, that Barcelona managed to go through. So that, you know, there was very much a pressure period on Barcelona, and Barcelona didn't really respond to that, which is usually what what your crowd kind of helps you get back into. Like once you have that pressure period, your crowd really helps you get back into the game. That wasn't the case against Napoli. Now, interesting stat here. When they concede a lot. They don't always concede, but when they concede, they generally concede a lot. Fun fact, in about 39% of all the games in La Liga, they kept a clean sheet. So let's say 40. Let's just round it up. In 40% of all the games in La Liga, they've kept a clean sheet, which is great. That is great. Is it? It's great. It's not fantastic. You know, don't get me wrong. It's not the best it could have been, but it's still a relatively high percentage. You know, at 40%, that's still majority of your games where you're not conceding a single goal. The issue with that is that in about 50% of their games, both teams scored. So in 50% of their games, both teams scored, which means that they generally concede goals when they play. Like it's a coin, it's a toss-up. It's like heads or tails. Tails they concede, heads they don't. That's basically what it is. It doesn't matter the opponent, as I mentioned before. You know, when you look at the games where they conceded 2-2, where they played 2-2. Yes, Atletico Madrid and Real Sociedad were in, you know, 3rd and 6th respectively, but Osasuna was 10th, Celta de Vigo was 17th, RCD Espanyol was 20th. So they do very much concede goals, and that's exactly obviously what we can work on, because we are so prolific in front of goals. We're probably, I want to say we're, alright, not to go into too much detail, but we're probably at a point right now where I don't see us not scoring at least 2 goals in each game that we play, and that is little to do with the team, but not really with the form, but more so with the hunger. I haven't really seen that much hunger from Bayern specifically, where it's like the 89th minute and we're still going for it. Like generally, like once it's the 80th minute, we kind of just slow down a little bit. But against Chelsea, you know, we saw that hunger. In the final Bundesliga games, we saw that hunger. We have seen that hunger that the team has had, and that's actually why I'm so confident about this Champions League campaign. Until that hunger is gone, I think we're sailing, because generally we beat ourselves. You know, there's always generally a few issues here and there, but because Barcelona's defense is so leaky, I don't want to say poor necessarily, but leaky, I think we can easily outscore them. I think we can quite comfortably outscore them. With Coman being back as well, that means that we've got pace in the squad, and pace is exactly what we can use against Barcelona. I think the midfield battle will be won by us, not so much because of the midfield itself, but more so because of the supporting players around it that help the midfield. And what I mean by that is that they're not gonna play. Barcelona likes to play from the back. They like to, you know, slowly build up their play, and that's not really going to work against us because we're very good at pressing. But the thing with us is that we're also very good at counter attacking. counter pressing. We're just very good at those factors, which is something that Barcelona really struggles with. And because of the pace that we have, you know, there's going to be a good battle there with Davies and Messi, of course. But Messi's not really going to go back and track back all the way. He's in the, you know, he's getting quite old at this point, so he's not really going to do that all too much. Maybe like the first 20-30 minutes, but he's not really going to do that too much. They're going to keep him further up so that he can attack, they can counter, but they're not really much of a countering team. They like to build up from the back, and that allows our pacey players to get back, you know, in defense and defend. So I want to be confident. Like I truly, it's not that I want to be confident. I am confident about this game. Like I generally, you lot know, right? You lot know me by now. Like I'm generally either the overconfident person or the very cautious person. I've kind of always been like one of those two. You know, either I'm the 5-1. When are we gonna win 5-1? And we actually win 5-1. I'm like, yeah, I said it. Or I'm the kind of person that's like, ooh, I think it's gonna be like a 2-1. 2-1 is always my cautious, like, ooh, I don't know if we can do it. I don't know if we can do it. It's like 50-50 game, but I'm just going to give myself the 2-1 victory just because I want to see us win. So that's generally my cautious, my super cautious prediction. But I genuinely think that we're going to beat Barcelona 4-1. I said that before I looked into them, before I watched them play. When I say before I watched them play, I mean I watched them in the Champions League, but I haven't seen them in La Liga that much. You know, you generally only watch, at least for me, I generally only watch them play versus Real Madrid. Now, that's really what it boils down to. I generally will just watch them play versus Real Madrid, and maybe depending on Atletico Madrid's form, Atletico Madrid. But generally, I just watch them against Real Madrid 2 times a year, and that's that. But having seen a little bit more of them, 4-1. Will I come to regret this afterwards? I doubt it. I doubt it, and it's not to like throw shade at, you know, Barcelona. Barcelona generally are a team that I very much enjoy watching play, but you can probably tell that I haven't seen much of them play because I don't think they're that good at the moment. They're not that enjoyable to watch play. They're not that tiki-taka style. They're not that fluid, you know, movement style. They're just, they seem like they're a mistake that's held together by Messi. Straight up. They're a mistake that's held together by 3 players. And Ter Stegen is one of those 3 players, and Messi, of course, is another one of those 3 players. De Jong is the other one. But like Ter Stegen, you know, he has one or two mistakes in him. He's kind of odd. You know, he has one of those. He has a mistake in him, but like besides that mistake, he's absolutely fantastic. He's absolutely brilliant. Messi, you know, he's amazing. Everyone knows that he's the best player in the world. I don't think that's that. I can't see how people are that crazy about it. Like for me, he's the best player of all time, straight up. Is he the best player this season? No. Is he up there? Of course. But straight up, I think he's the best player of all time. I think, but we're deviating right now, but just, who cares? In my opinion, in my humble opinion, I think players nowadays are significantly better than they were in the past. So the best player that is, you know, right now is essentially the best player of all time. And for me, I mean, the debate has always been between Messi and Ronaldo. The thing is, Ronaldo, I think he's the best goal scorer of all time. Some may argue. There's one specific name that I have in mind that might be superior, which would be Gerd Müller, who I think is the most effective player of all time. I don't think we've seen a player that has been quite as effective as him just yet, but I think Ronaldo's overall the best goal scorer of all time, and Messi is the best footballer of all, like just pure footballer, the overall encompassing footballer of all time. But he's getting old. He's at the end of his career right now, so I don't think he's gonna be that much of a threat. He's gonna be a threat because he's Messi, but he's not gonna be that much of a threat. He's not gonna be a 4-goal scoring, you know, he's not gonna score 4 goals against us, that kind of threat. Yes, he's gonna have like a very good game where, you know, he can score 1 or 2 goals. I definitely see that in him, but I definitely see us scoring 3-4 goals as well. So that's why I'm going with a 4-1 result. I think Messi's going to score 1 goal. I think that's going to be the goal from Barcelona that Messi's going to score. But I think that Lewandowski is going to score 2 goals for us. Müller is going to get a goal because Müller Müller doesn't actually really score much. But without him, like, we don't function. That's the kind of fun. That's the fun thing. Like, everyone that doesn't watch Bayern, they're like, what does Müller actually offer? But, you know, he's broken the assist record. So what? But like, once you actually watch us play, and you actually see how influential Müller is to our actual game, because you know our wingers are generally very pacey, but they're not very good at decision making. That's generally the criticism that I have with Coman and Gnabry. Coman is not so much decision making; it's his passing. Straight up, it's his crossing. Like, he'll do everything right, get past 3 players, and then once it's time to cross, he crosses it to the moon. And it's like, how? How do you do everything right and you've not learned how to cross in like 4 years? Like, I've been saying that the whole time though. Coman needs to work on his crosses, and he could be one of the top 3 wingers in world football. It's just that he doesn't know how to. And Gnabry is very effective when he wants to be. It's kind of odd. Like, Gnabry is that kind of inconsistent player that, like, on his day is absolutely unplayable, and in the Champions League he's been absolutely unplayable, but in the Bundesliga he's been hot and cold, to say the least. So that is why Müller is so effective, because he just kind of is the glue that holds the team together. He's the person that initiates the attacks, he's the person that starts the attacks, and quite frankly, without him, Lewandowski wouldn't have gotten as many goals. Without Lewandowski, Müller wouldn't have gotten as many assists. I mean, that kind of goes back and forth, of course, but I think he's going to get a goal as well, and I think, call me crazy, I think we're going to get a header goal from a corner. Yes, I think we're going to score from a corner against Barcelona. We're a team, right, for those that don't watch Bayern as much, we're a team that throughout this whole season, I think we've had the record amount of corners in the Bundesliga, probably in world football. We've had the record amount of corners, but I think we've scored the least amount from corners from all teams combined. We're just that bad at corners. So I think we're gonna score a goal from that. That's like, if you ask me, what does Bayern need to improve to be even better next season? Besides, obviously, get 1 or 2 wingers, which, you know, with Sané we've got another one. But my big thing would be improve the corners. That's it. Like, straight up, that's it. So I think we're gonna score a corner. Now, who should play? I'll get into that in tomorrow's video. Yeah, I'm milking this. All right. Anyway, though, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be seeing all of you in the next one, everyone. Until then, have a nice day. Peace out, and